Welcome back to Southpaw Picks. You're here with your host Charles, and this is the post-weigh-in show of Jack Hermansson versus Sean Strickland. We had 13 bouts on the night, a wonderful card, awesome finishes, questionable decisions. We had it all tonight, and we're gonna just kick it right off from the main event down. Great showing for Sean Strickland. He won via split decision. Definitely wasn't a split decision in my opinion. I thought Sean Strickland did everything he was supposed to do. Earlier in the week, my first prediction video, I sided with Sean Strickland. I then flipped picks on the final thoughts show. I thought Jack would be able to implement that ground game. It's something Sean Strickland hasn't dealt with recently, and he really showed off that he's very difficult to take down, and that's what was really causing Jack Hermansson all the frustration. He couldn't get Sean down no matter how he did. He grabbed the single legs. Sean showed excellent takedown defense, and I feel like this is just it. I mean, 25-3, that's a phenomenal record he's accrued at this point. And you know what? Maybe he does need to go beat someone high caliber like a Paulo Costa, a Marvin Vettori, a Jared Cannonier, someone in that top 5 range. I don't feel like he should get a title shot just based on this alone. And I feel like he's probably one fight away from getting that title shot. And obviously, he didn't cut the greatest promo in the world, so that's how it goes. And we lose the main event on our predictions this week. I flip-flopped, went with the Joker, and didn't pay out. Moving on down here, we dropped the co-main event as well, too. Nick Maximov wins a split decision against Punahele Soriano. Now, split decision. Listen, I had money on the other guy, so I'm not even gonna, act like it was a robbery at all. You can make cases for Punahele. I mean, he had landed the more significant shots, but there was just significant ground control by Nick Maximov. And, the competitiveness in the grappling with Cody Brundage, I figured that Punahele was going to have similar grappling exchanges, but land power shots. And it did work out that way, but Nick Maximov did not stop. Knee to the face, cracked him open right over the eye. He kept coming. He kept staying positionally on top of the fight. So not at all am I disappointed with not winning my bet slip here, because Nick Maximov was the better fighter on that day. And now what do we feel about Punahele Soriano? Now he's burned me once with Brendan Allen, and he's burned me once with Nick Maximov. So I feel like this is the plateau for him. There's a level of fighter he's just not going to get by, and he could beat the Oscar Piotas of the world and land a shot on Dusko. Now I really want to know, maybe if that fight plays out a little more, does Punahele even beat Dusko, right? Very interesting, but he has some holes in his game to shore up as well. Now, moving on down, the lock of the night, the lock of the week, the lock of the century to me was Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Carlston Harris. I loaded up on that. Shavkat was the #1 piece to all my parlays. It did not matter. It did not matter. A couple things dropped on the way, and we'll get to it. Not even to mention Soriano, but some other things definitely came in the way of these parlays. But Shavkat went out there and did what I expected. Whatever. There's this issue that we continue to see with him as far as just getting countered and having a bit of a struggle when it deals with the clinch fighting. Right? It looks like Shavkat, as big as he is, may not have as much strength as you would imagine. Carlston Harris being a much slimmer build, he was able to reverse position and not get manhandled, but the spinning back kick to the ground strikes, it's hard to see my boy Carlston go out like that, but it's what you expected from this animal. Shavkat is a problem. He's devastating, but he is not unbeatable, and we've seen this already. We've seen some vulnerabilities of him, but you know what? I think he sees them too, and I feel like the more he continues to win, the more dangerous he's going to be. I mean, if you're the champion, I don't think you want Shavkat at 18-0. You probably want to pick him up right now, 16-0, 15-0, and try and get the job done. But Shavkat finishes that fight in the first round, plus 100 on the finish. You can't go wrong. Moving on down. Now, this is a fight I regret not getting involved in. Brendan Allen had me, very, unconfident in his ability to perform, because he was saying, he just was so unprepared for this. But, Brendan Allen by finish was the most obvious choice here. I just didn't go for it. I didn't get involved. I found out later it was -110. Should have looked into it. Should have been something I acquired on. But, what do you expect? Minus 500 favorite going in there against a guy who hasn't won a fight since 2018. Brendan Allen goes in there and does what he needs to do. Picks up a quick check, right? You get your win bonus after your last loss. And Brendan Allen, you know what? He has his moments here and there, but I do believe he's someone that's going to stick around for a very long time. You know, he's talented. He's getting better. He's young. He's had his ups. He's had his downs. This could be someone that eventually down the line, when he completely puts the whole package together, might be title material, right? It's hard to say this right now, but Brendan Allen seems to learn. He bounces back from these losses pretty well as well. Moving on down, we had the Ultimate Fighter finale, right? Bryan Battle versus Treyshawn Gore. Fight I wasn't really looking to be invested in, obviously. But close fight between the two of them. And Bryan Battle, to me, I didn't think he won the fight, honestly. I didn't think he won the fight. I feel like Treyshawn landed too much damage, but the volume was a big factor in Bryan Battle's favor. And I feel like over the course of the night, if you're giving out split decisions to Maximov and Strickland, I mean, it's very strange that this was a unanimous. That third round, a lot of just cage control, but not a lot of work being done, in my opinion. But Treyshawn probably could have won the round if he just pushed a little bit in that final second. He just did it, and that just speaks on the inexperience of Treyshawn Gore. 3-1. Bryan Battle is getting better. The kicks, the jabs, the ability to take it to the ground. He's the more well-rounded fighter and the bigger fighter here. So Bryan Battle, great win. We'll see how far he goes in his career and, you know, where it takes him at this point. Moving on down, we got a amazing fight, probably the best fight of the year. Julian Rosa versus Steven Peterson. Man, the whole time I was watching this fight, I was like, man, Peterson missed weight. He's gonna miss out on that $50K bonus. And it was something that was staying with me. I was saying, man, as these shots are landing and the damage is accumulating and the back and forth, it was a really good fight. Congratulations to Julian Rosa for winning it. It was so close, especially in that second round. I don't mind the split decision here, honestly. I don't mind that someone may have saw it for Steven Peterson because it was a war. It was so back and forth. He rocked him. So tough, these guys, man. It was a treat. I was very, very fortunate. We're all very fortunate to watch a fight like that happen. And amazing fight for Julian Rosa. Rightfully deserved the 50K or 100K bonus they got. That was definitely the fight of the night to me. Now, where do they go from here? Not too sure for Steven Peterson. Julian Rosa, I think we got to give him a ranked opponent. I think he's proven that he's such a well-rounded veteran, and he's gonna win these fights if you allow him to stick in there and not get finished in the first. So I think Julian Rosa deserves like a bottom 15 featherweight and see what he could do. Honestly, I think Julian Rosa versus Shane Burgos would be a really good fight, you know, or Julian Rosa versus Ilya Topuria. That's the fight to make. Moving on down. We got John Castaneda versus Miles John. Now, this is a play I lost on as well. And, you know, I say it to you guys over and over again, I don't like 47 I don't like 47 I don't like 47 I went with a 47 fighter. What happened? They failed. They look horrible. They're very unconditioned athletes coming out of there. They're fundamentally off. I think Coach Sayoud is just so big in respect that I feel like he's getting these fighters to places they don't belong. Miles John looked like he didn't belong in there. He really didn't. He didn't implement his wrestling game. He stood there and threw these stiff strikes, got gassed so fast. It was hard to watch if you had money on Miles Johns, which I did, right? I expected him to have a wrestling game plan. He didn't implement that at all. He couldn't even land. He was swinging at air sometimes in there. I think that was probably the worst he's looked out of any of his performances. You know, even when I was going back and taping some of his fights and, you know, realizing that, yeah, you know, he has a grappling advantage. Even though he's getting a little trigger happy with the hands, his hands look way sharper in his prior fights. In this fight, man, he just looked awful. He looked awful, honestly. I don't know if it was a weight cut issue or what. He looked awful. Miles Johns is somebody that could beat a certain level opponent. He wasn't able to beat a guy like John Castaneda. The Sexy Mexi wins again. And we'll see how far he goes in his career. I like the switch stances of him. I like his jabs, and I like his counter crosses. Very, very good fighter in John Castaneda. And now we know. if you didn't know, for me, someone who really didn't give him the benefit of the doubt just for that Wineland knockout, he's good. Where does he fall in the place of this? In the grand scheme of the bantamweight division, it's hard to say it's a Shark Tank. But Miles Johns is like an oyster. He's like a seahorse in the Shark Tank. Not a good showing for him. Maybe we'll find out later there was something behind the scenes, but you're coming off 2 back-to-back bonuses, $100K in profit, and you think you're going to be progressing in your career, the younger fighter here, the grappling advantage, and then you go out there swinging at air. Not looking good. Anyways, moving on down. Hakeem Dawodu. A lot of people were on Mike Trizano as a live dog. I kind of gave Hakeem the benefit of the doubt. You know, a lot of people were talking about his volume and not opening up. Man, he was facing 2 grapplers. This is finally a striker. Last striker he faced, he KO'd, right? Julia Arce, the last grab, I mean, was that really a split decision? It was really low volume, I guess, but the damaging shots were from Hakeem. Hakeem now has taken 2 guys out of that Tiger Showman camp. They better go send their best warrior. Send their best warrior for him. You better, if Shane Burgos should be right now messaging Dana and say, hey, or Hunter or McMahon or whatever, yo, I want Hakeem. We need it back for Tiger Showman. He's running through us. You know what I mean? We got to get one back. And that was what it was. It was a striking affair. Hakeem definitely won all 3 rounds. Fair decision. Probably the best decision from start to finish on this card. I wouldn't say it was the most exciting fight. It had its moments, but Hakeem was definitely leading the dance. Moving on down here, we got Chitty and Ninjukuy versus Marc-Andre Berrio. Now, Marc-Andre has been a reliable fighter for me as far as betting goes. Tough guy, never been finished, durable, stays in your face, pressure, small octagon, bigger guy. As far as physically, I mean, height-wise, yeah, of course, you give it to Chitty for sure. But, you know, the more natural middleweight here. You're talking about a guy that fought at light heavyweight. And Chitty sleeped him in 16 seconds. Just like that. These are the variabilities of MMA, right? I mean, a 16-second shot. The fight didn't even get to begin before it was over. But Chitty goes home with the bonus. Great call for anybody that picked him in that scenario. Does this fight happen? Does that happen 10 times again? If they fought 10 times, does Chitty knock him out in 16 seconds? I don't think so, but he got Marc-Andre today. Last night, sorry. And phenomenal for Chitty. Definitely the more exciting prospect between the two, even though they're both pretty old in fight years and pretty experienced. But Chitty's definitely more exciting than Marc-Andre's style. Marc-Andre, I don't know where he goes from here. I mean, that's a pretty shocking result for someone that's never been finished, and you just get dropped 16 seconds. I mean, he wasn't out cold, but he was TKO'd, you know, kind of like a Michael Chandler versus Dan Hooker, you know, like a boom, boom, boom TKO. Still standing, but definitely concussed and hurt. Congratulations for Chitty. He definitely deserved the 50K bonus there, and looking forward to see him move on here. I don't know where he's going to get in the middleweight division. I think there's a fight coming up, obviously, Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva. I think winner faces Chitty or loser faces Chitty. I wouldn't even complain, but I think Chitty versus Alex Pereira needs to happen. Moving on down, we got Alexis Davis versus Jojo Stararenko. I took the dog shot on here as far as prediction goes. Didn't bet Jojo, but, you know, she put up a decent scrap. Probably if she didn't work off her back in that 3rd round and really just fight to get that armbar, maybe she could reverse position and dominate Alexis Davis. I found Alexis Davis look a lot more tired than she was used to in most fights, and she was a lot more hittable than I was used to. Jojo was really landing on her pretty well, and it's going to be eager to see who they put Alexis Davis up with next. A bantamweight is not deep, but, you know, she's ranked. We just take a quick look here. Alexis Davis is ranked just outside of the top 15 using the Tapology rankings here. And maybe you give her a bottom 15 girl. See what she can do, but she's definitely someone that you're going to want to throw your prospects at. And they just signed, remember off the Contender Series, there was that Silva girl that was a bantamweight. And she had the curly hair. I remember her. Maybe you put her up against Alexis Davis, see where she's at, right? That'd be a good debut for the Contender Series alum. And we're going to move on down to a fight that I think debatably should have got a bonus. Jailton Almeida went in there and ran through Daniel Marquez, man. Ran through him. How dangerous is Jailton Almeida, man? It was very, I know people throw it around a lot, but it was very Habib-esque. He locked him up, body locked him, kept him down. Marquez is a grappler. He couldn't get away. He couldn't get away from Jailton Almeida. And the guy came in at 203, so he might be a natural 205-pound man fighting these big guys. And he ragdolled Marquez. Scary, scary, scary prospect here. It's 15-2. Maybe we push him up the rankings fast. I mean, he's legit. He's legit. I don't think we need to see any more. He's ran through two guys who are known for grappling and completely dominated them from pillar to post. We haven't really got the best opportunity to just see what his striking looks like 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, and maybe someone will give him that type of fight. We'll have to see. As you can see from Paul Craig, really just showcasing there's a hole in the light heavyweights when it comes to grappling. Glover Teixeira showed you it as well as an older fighter, going up the ranks and showcasing his grappling and becoming a champion. Jailton Almeida is dangerous. Does Jailton Almeida beat Glover Teixeira? I mean, you're going to say no, obviously, with the boxing ability of Glover, but man, that pressure looked amazing. Jailton Almeida, not going to say it, but show me some more. He could be title contention material at the light heavyweight division. Moving on down. 2 fights left here. We got Philip Rowe versus Jason Witt, and that fight went exactly the way you anticipated if you were on the Philip Rowe side. Jason Witt was going to eventually not be able to get the big, long athlete down, and 1-2 down the pipe. Chin's very suspect from Jason Witt. Not only that, just the velocity of Philip Rowe's shots being so direct and straight down the middle. He started to come to his own. He started to build momentum. There's a path to victory there. A wrestler with a good chin could definitely beat him. A guy like Nick Maximov. And let me go confirm. That's middleweight though, right? Yeah, that's middleweight. Nick Maximov is the type of guy that skill set of a fighter, someone that will give Philip Rowe a lot of trouble. But you know what? Maybe he could avoid that in the welterweight division for the time being and just pick up on these guys like Luis Koski and Jason Witt. Maybe give him Brian Barberina. I think maybe that's the fight to go, Philip Rowe versus Brian Barberina, and see how that plays out. That's going to be a good fight. And very impressive with Philip Rowe. That's 2 back-to-back KOs. He's starting to really put it together. 8 inches of reach. Very, very exciting prospect. And then last but not least, this is definitely what started out the night heading in the direction we didn't want to see it going in. Denise Bondar loses elbow dislocation. Man, sometimes these things are going to happen, and that's really what set our prediction rate to sub 500 here for this week, and we have our first losing week as far as predictions and betting goes. So we definitely dropped some unit counts here, still up for the year, and we got a huge pay-per-view coming up this Saturday. So we're going to bounce back, obviously. We're going to get another hot streak together, and continue on with the moving parts going into the UFC. We got a whole bunch of straight weeks of events with Fiziev coming up, and Israel Adesanya. There's a lot of money to be made in this space, and I'm very excited to bring the breakdowns to you and bring the predictions down to you. And thank you again for watching Southpaw Picks. This is the betting recap show, and look out for our breakdown for Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. It's going to be an amazing fight, and a lot of money to be made on that card. So once again, thank you for watching Southpaw Picks. Catch you later.